I'm Nate Eaton, and we are back at MorningStar Senior Living in Idaho Falls today, talking with Arlene Hix. You might remember a few weeks ago we asked her a few questions about what she learned as a mother, and now you've had some unexpected challenges over the past year or two. Your husband passed away, and it was a public situation, unfortunately. But walk me through what happened after your husband died, Arlene.
Okay, so I decided to sell our farm home and move to Idaho Falls. And so I lived in my new townhome for a year and a half, and then that's when I became blind this January of 2021. And it was a very sudden overnight thing. So I have learned a lot in the last 8 months that I never thought I would have to learn. But I found that people are so willing to help you, and they're going to be there for you. And that's the biggest blessing of being here, is that I find so many friends that are willing to help me. It's just been amazing.
You had some health issues, and you woke up one morning and couldn't see. Bottom line, right?
Yes.
What's the first thing that goes through your mind when you wake up and it's supposed to be light out and it's not?
It's not. Well, first thing I thought, I'll go to the hospital and they will find some wonderful thing that they can bring my eyesight back. But it didn't turn out that way, and after many tests and many doctors' opinions, it was to be that I would live in darkness the rest of my life. I see no color, only black and some shadows if the light's right. So there's many kinds of blindness I found out, but I happen to lost both optical nerves, so I don't see anything except a shadow once in a while.
Oh my gosh, I think that most people watching would say, you know, take away any of my senses, just not my sight.
Yes.
And here you are living through it. What would you say is the biggest thing you've learned?
The biggest thing I've learned probably is that people will come to your aid, especially family. My family has especially been there for me every step of the way, and I guess the biggest life lesson I've learned is that all people will come to your aid if they know that you have a need, especially here. I have found that so much love here that I never knew could exist. And I feel very blessed that way.
And you've managed to get around your apartment by feeling things?
Yep. I had to have a walker. We never learned the balance thing. And so I have a walker, and the occupational therapist said, just remember, when you bump into something, you'll know that you got to turn. So I have had lots of help learning to navigate, and I'm doing really well that way, except I have to be taken to the diner and my meals.
Yeah. And then a few months ago, your daughter passed away.
Yes, on June 2nd, my daughter passed away, and she was 60 years old, totally not what we wanted to happen, but knew that she probably could never get better because she was not a candidate for a heart transplant at that time, and her heart just pretty well was giving out. But they were able to keep her so we could communicate with her, and we all got to go tell her goodbye. She was down at the Huntsman Cancer Center, and I was amazed at how much they were able to do for her to communicate, even though she was pretty well in bed all the time. So
it seems like trial after trial after trial, Arlene. Maybe from an outsider's perspective, you probably don't view it that way. How have you kept your head up? How have you remained optimistic?
I just had to decide that I guess it was the Lord's plan at that time, and we didn't know that that was going to happen. We prayed that she would get well, and I guess in a sense we were prepared to know that she probably was not going to get better, but it's never easy. And then at the end of June, I lost my son-in-law. He was 56, and a very quick thing happened to him, and he passed away. So we've had many blessings happen to that daughter as well as to my son-in-law.
So you've probably learned that life is pretty fragile.
Life is fragile, and somehow we've had so many people come to the aid of the families and help us all through all these tragedies.
Do you have any regrets?
I guess maybe the biggest regret I have is the fact that I wish that they could have done more for me at the hospital, but I have to accept that this is probably going to be like this for the rest of my life, and I can either be happy or I could dwell on the unkind things, but my countenance has always been to be happy.
Oh. And you're even smiling now.
Oh.
Well, is there anything you want to add?
I guess we all have trials, but somehow the Lord will help us through them, and I know He does, because He's helped me many, many times.